I'm Amy Gunderson from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and today we're going to be talking about 1x1 cross stitches. This is a special project, a cowl made for our 2021 Sierra Nevada yarn crawl in two colors of Madeline Tosh Merino Light. And as you can see, the sort of turquoise color looks like it's sort of just flowing and crossing across the gray background here, which it kind of is. And it involves a couple of different techniques, and we're going to go over how to do those. So here's a smaller swatch I've started of the stitch pattern so we can go over these techniques. And as you can see, maybe, colors are changed every other row or round in this pattern. I've just finished our turquoise round, and now we're going to do the background color and the two different kinds of crosses that are involved with that. So I'm going to be working to the point of the cross here in my stitch pattern. Now what I'm going to be doing next is what's called a right slipped cross. So if you kind of look at this line right here and that stitch right there, what I'm going to do basically is exchange it with this one. But this one I'm going to slip the stitch without working it because I want to carry the color up. So this can be done with a cable needle, which I find a little fiddly. I'm going to be showing you how to do it without a cable needle today. So the first step is going to be to slip both of these stitches to the right needle without working them. And I'm going to want this stitch to stay where it is and reach from behind and grab this guy right here. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to take the tip of my left needle, put it through, whoops, I'm very bad at this, grab onto that stitch. I'm going to kind of hold it in place on my left needle, take my right needle out of the stitch that's crossing over, let it drop, and then pick it up again over the top of that other stitch, unworked. Now I'm going to go ahead and purl that other stitch. It seems a little fiddly, but once you try it a couple of times, you kind of get the hang of it. So I've got another one of these coming up here. Just work over to it. So once more, slip both stitches, grab the rightmost stitch from behind, pull my right needle out of the stitch that's going to cross over, and then pick it up again without working it, and then purl that other one. So likewise, over here we're going to have two of the same kind of stitch except crossed in the other direction. So this has worked a little differently. Here are the two stitches we're going to be working with. So the first stitch is the one that will cross over, so I'm going to first slip that. Then I'm going to purl the next stitch, and then from the front, I will grab that slip stitch, take my needle out of that purled stitch and pick it up again over the top. Make sure I'm not splitting my yarn. And then this turquoise stitch, I'll just slip it again since we're not working it, and that's it. I feel like that one's just a little bit easier to do. So one more time. Slip the first one, purl the second one, grab this guy, the first one, drop the purl stitch but pick it up again, and then go ahead and slip that turquoise one again. Okay, so in this cowl, like I was saying, there is another technique that we're going to use, worked with our main color turquoise yarn, and this one is simpler to do than the other ones we were just doing, so you can let out a sigh of relief, I hope. So I'm going to take our main color here and work up to that spot. This technique does not involve taking your needle out of anything if that seems a little scary. These are kind of more standard stitches. So we're kind of doing the same thing we did before by moving this stitch over here, but it's just much simpler to work since I'm actually going to be knitting this stitch. So basically I'm going to knit two together, So insert knitwise through both of these stitches, knit 2 together, and then I'm going to knit the first stitch again, which is the contrast color. So you can see here I've got 2 loops on my hook, and then just slip that all from the left needle. And it's as simple as that. So I've carried the 1 stitch over. And then the counterpart to that, to move it to the left, so that stitch again. So first I'm going to go to the contrast color, but from behind. So I'm first going to knit that through the back loop from behind. Then I'm going to knit the main color stitch just normally through the front loop, and then slip those both from my needle. And you can see how those have both kind of moved over by a stitch there, and simple as that. So here is a cowl. This is a special project developed for our Sierra Nevada yarn crawl for 2021. And the primary technique used in this project are front post stitches and back post stitches. So if you kind of take a look at the patterning here in the cowl, it's 2 different colors going on here. The one row is worked in, or one round is worked in the turquoise color, and another round is worked in the gray color with just plain single crochet, and then it's just simple double crochet post stitches used to make these lines. So today we're going to learn how to do a front post double crochet first. And this technique is also used in the top ribbing you can see here. It's just alternating front post and back post, hard to say, double crochet stitches. So next up in my pattern here is going to be a front post stitch. So this is worked just like a normal double crochet, except it's worked around the post of the stitch below. So I'm going to yarn over like a normal double crochet. Then instead of putting my hook into the top of a stitch, I'm going to go around the post of that previous stitch and then just work my double crochet like normal. So pull yarn through that post. Whoops, I lost it. And then yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. Likewise, a back post double crochet is really just the same, except we're going, instead of through the front of a post, we're going to go through the back of the stitch. So first yarn over, and then I'm going to take the tip of my hook here, and I'm going to go from the back through the front, and then around that post of the stitch from the wrong side here. Turn it over so we can see it from the working side, and then again just complete the stitch like normal. And there you have it, front post and back post double crochet.